This is game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Miami in front 2-1.
Trust in what got you guys here, okay? It's this series back. Pacers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
We are seeing much more activity by the bigger and more physical Indiana Pacers here in game 4.
It's got to be about whose game is better, not whose effort is better.
We're getting the treats tonight.
Here's Hill, rejected by James.
I mean, meet me at Mount Everest.
He goes to the far corner. Here's Stevenson for 3. What a shot. LeBron James has fouled out. The Indiana Pacers bounce back. The series is tied at your pace.
We're not going anywhere. We're going back down to Miami to go out there and fight again.
Game on the line. LeBron James on the bench. How would the Pacers respond?
Well, reports of their demise have been greatly exaggerated. After being overwhelmed with Miami's offensive precision in Game 3, the Pacers responded with what's carried them all season: strong defense and a balanced offense. Let's check it out. Game 4 from Indiana. Pacers trying to bounce back from their first loss at home this postseason. Miami trying to remain perfect on the road in the playoffs. LeBron James and Lance Stevenson figured into the story early. Indiana came out strong on an 11-0 run to start the game, and Stevenson and James going at it. Stevenson, little bump for James, and James winds up with the technical. Then in transition, Stevenson with the layup. He had 9 points and 4 for 8 shooting in the first half. Let's go to the third quarter. Chris Bosh battling with Roy Hibbert in the post, and Bosh goes down. Had some ankle problems. Take another look at it. His leg in an awkward position there. Falls to the court, immediately grabs his foot. He would leave the game. He would later return, but not a good night for Bosh in general. Just 1 for 6 shooting for him. Later in the third, off a heat miss, the rebound comes out to LeBron James. He rolls his ankle, and he's a bit hobbled. We'll take a look at that with a Sportscenter scope, get a closer look at it. Steps on Stevenson's foot, as you can see right there, but he would remain in the game. Tighten up the shoestrings, and then step back and knock down a 3. He was 4 for 7 on threes. The Heat down 2. Ankle okay. Less than a minute later, George Hill on the break. Hill thinks he's got a layup, but look at James size him up and get the block. Right at the rim. And we'll give you one more look so you can see how high he got. His head almost hit the rim for that block. And it looked like Miami was going to climb back into this game and take control after playing uphill for most of the game. 2 seconds to play in the third. Big play here. Stevenson for 3. The Pacers just 3 for 14 on threes in the game, and that was big. Stevenson wound up with 20 points. Pacers up 7 after 3. Fourth quarter now. James with a block on George Hill going the other way to Dwayne Wade in transition. Wade, 16 points, and he shot just 5 for 15. Heat still down 3. Next Heat possession, James. 4-3. Look at the ball movement for Miami. Bang, 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 and just like that, it's 83 apiece. 5 minutes to play. It's tied at 86. Ray Allen grabs a loose ball. Right place, right time. Quick release. Allen just 4 for 13, but that finished a 14-2 run for the Heat. They had a 3-point lead. Stevenson hit some big shots in this game. Tied the game at 89. Next Pacers possession. Paul George. Not a great game for him, just 4 for 10 for his 12 points. But Roy Hibbert, big man was big. 23 points, 12 boards. Pacers back up 2. Minute and a half to play. Hibbert, jump hook. Hibbert, rebound, put him on the line as well. Pacers up 5 after the free throw. Ensuing Heat possession. James, he just wouldn't go away. Heat down 2. Ensuing possession for the Pacers. Stevenson. I told you he had some big shots in this game. The Pacers up 4 as he gets the roll. Now, under a minute to play, the officials got involved here. Check out James with the Sportscenter scope. Called for the offensive foul for an illegal screen. His 6th foul of the game, and the rules say he has to sit. Take another look. Sticks his knee out slightly on the screen. Stafford calls the offensive foul, even though Dwayne Wade went the other way. James fouls out for just the 2nd time in his postseason career. That's a span of 128 games. 30 seconds to play. Wade called for a travel. His former NBA referee, Steve Javin.
He's still in rhythm. He hasn't established the right foot as the pivot foot yet. We called a late gather. That being a late gather, he can take that 1-2 step back behind the three-point line, which he does here. So in this case, I believe the travel call is the incorrect call.
But Steve was not working that game. He was watching on TV like the rest of us. The Pacers win it 99-92 to even the series at 2 apiece. They close the game on a 13-3 run as Miami shoots 1 for its final 9 shots. All 5 starters in double figure for Indiana. So the balanced scoring we mentioned, and they won it with muscle. 49-30 edge on the glass, 50-32 edge in the paint. Meanwhile, Miami's big 3, 14 for 39 for the game. So game 5 Thursday in Miami with the series tied up at 2 games apiece.
We're mentally tough. Not one guy in that locker room didn't believe we were going to win this game tonight. We showed fortitude, and we picked each other up. We're relentless, and all those guys in there, they believe that we can win.
We changed up some things. We didn't allow LeBron to beat us in the post, make everything over the top of us, and we were just dialed in again on the defensive end.
It's just as complete an opponent as we'll ever face. But we are confident that we can rise to the challenge.
We got what we wanted. It was a fourth-quarter lead, 89-86, going down the stretch, and they made bigger plays. The offensive rebounds, obviously, second life. That was probably the biggest difference in the game.
As a collective group, we can't allow that. But we don't need confidence going into any game. We're a confident bunch, and we're excited to get the opportunity to go back to our home and play game 5.
Well, quick, and the Kings move on.
Number 4, Heat and Pacers. George Hill on the break. LeBron James. Wow. He was sizing him up the whole way and then went up and took it down.